What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Pekka Rinne contract special. As many of you know, the Preds have been my Western Conference team for a while. I love the Music City. Being a huge country music fan, got me into it, and I got the sweatshirts and hats and shit for the Preds, and I'm really excited that they re-up Rinne. He's a tremendous goalie, huge guy. I can use every superlative to describe how he plays. Sound, cool, calm, collective, all that heavy horseshit. But like I said, I'm pumped. Finished second in the Vezina Trophy balloting last year. Fourth in the MVP, ahead of Thomas in the MVP voting, behind Thomas in the Vezina. And that just speaks volumes about how valuable he is to that franchise and that team. On and off the ice, he's a player. He's a goalie you can build a franchise around, and that's what they plan on doing. 7 years, $49 million to $7 million per year for a goalie. He's worth it. As good as Thomas is. Thomas has got a lot of goal support, and Thomas put up otherworldly numbers. And people talk about how good Nashville's defense is. Besides the big two, with Suter Weber, they're all right. Blum's a great young talent. Bouillon's a seasoned vet, and guys like that. But the Bruins' defense was excellent. I mean, that was part of the reason I won the Stanley Cup. As great as Thomas was, a lot of those shots weren't Thomas made some unbelievable saves, don't get me wrong. But the majority of the shots, were one and out, and the defenseman could move it out. 1 through 6, the Bruins had arguably the best blue line in the league last year. And, with a great goalie like Thomas back there, the shots do trickle through. But Rinne's, the way he's played has been excellent, I'm glad Timmy T won the Vezina last year. He's a long shot, all that. He's really, really earned it. But, Rinne was the most valuable goalie in hockey last year. And I think even my fellow Bruins fans will agree with me. As good as Thomas was, he had a capable backup in Tuukka. Has a capable backup in Tuukka. Rinne's backup's Andreas Lindback, who, isn't that great. And, I'm really, really excited going forward. But there's some bad news that comes with this. Obviously, Nashville being a small market team really doesn't spend to the cap, as many teams do. And Suter and Weber both. Suter's going to be unrestricted July 1st, and Weber's going to be restricted. They're going to lose one of them. And I think it's going to be Weber. I don't think they'll be able to. He's going to get $8 million. He's the best defenseman in hockey. He should have won the Norris Trophy last year. I think Lidstrom, I love Nick Lidstrom, class act, great hockey player, but didn't deserve it last year. Weber was dollar for dollar the best defenseman in hockey last year. And like I said, as much as I love Big Z, my Bruins fans will agree with me on this. Weber's as good as anyone, if not better. And he's going to get a lot of money as a restricted free agent, and I don't think Nashville can pay it. I think they're looking to trade for him. They can get a lot back for him, a real lot. I'm actually spitballing ideas earlier about potential Weber trade. I'd love to see him in black and gold. Think a package centered around the Bruins' top D-line defensive prospect in Dougie Hamilton, and maybe like Jared Knight, and it'll probably cost you maybe Marchand or an NHL roster forward for the Bruins to get him. And I think Tampa's an outside shot too, if Nashville is to make the trade. Hedman, you'd lose Hedman right off the bat. Hedman's obviously 6 years younger, but isn't as established as Weber is. And Weber, like I said, is one of the elite is the preeminent defenseman in hockey, in my opinion. He can hit, fight, and has got a bomb for a shot. Great leader. Centered around Hedman and maybe Carter Ashton, who, by the way, was voted AHL Rookie of the Month for October. So a top prospect and a NHL roster defenseman. Then, throw in something else too. It's going to cost you a lot to get this guy, and he's worth it. He's worth every penny you earn. He's worth whatever you're going to have to give up in a trade. He's that good. Following Nashville as long as I have, watching him up through the system, it's like this guy's going to be a stud someday. And he's reached that status. He is. I can't stop raving how good the guy is. Whether they shot against Germany in the Olympics went through the net, I think they have a good chance of re-signing Suter. I think Suter will take a little bit less than market value to stay in Nashville, and continue to help that team. I think re-signing the goalie was key. Re-signing Rinne, because I think if you got to re-sign 2 out of 3, it was either re-sign Suter and Rinne or re-sign just Weber. And get a quality defenseman Suter and one of the best goalies in hockey versus the best defenseman in hockey. Poyle's caught between a rock and a hard spot, and I think he made the right move. Now maybe there's an influx of money they can re-sign, but I hope they can. I really do. I love the Nashville Predators. I love when they got Forsberg that year, and they could have won the cup that year if Sully and Korea weren't hurt. But I digress. They're a perennial playoff team, and I think with Rinne, they could have easily beaten Vancouver had they gotten a bounce here or there, and then in the conference finals against San Jose. I can't see Jumbo Joe skating in the finals. So, can you imagine Nashville and the Bruins in the finals last year? I would have gone nuts, personally. It would have been Tampa, my number 2 team in the East, and then my Western Conference team. You had T. Swift, Carrie Underwood, all those girls and guys at the games. And, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it after goals. I don't think it's much better than that, personally. Best combination of hockey and country music you can get. And when one of your best players is married to Carrie Underwood, come on. Jordan Tutu used to go out with Kelly Pickler. That's pretty sick, But, I'm really excited going forward that they got this contract out of the way. If nothing else, to keep your top goalie. And, like I said, a hot goalie can make all the difference, as we saw with Thomas last year in the playoffs. So, that's pretty much it for the special edition. Oh, Movember. You can't tell it now, but I'm growing the stash out for Movember to to raise awareness for prostate cancer or something. I don't know, but it's a good cause. A lot of guys in the NHL are doing it. So I advise all my followers to grow the stash in Movember and keep. I forget what cause it is too, but I'm sure it's for a good cause. That's pretty much it, guys. That's it for the special edition of the Power Play. I'll see everyone later.